These Chiefs have received a helping hand from the NFL refs time and time and time and time again.
Steps out of bounds at about the 22. And the official, look at that. John Hussey helps him up.
Legitimately feels like these games are scripted like it's the WWE. So with that said, how about we dive into 10 games involving the Kansas City Chiefs that looked totally rigged in their favor. 2024 AFC Divisional Round versus Houston Texans. For starters, allow us to present to you this atrocious roughing the passer call against Houston defensive end Will Anderson Jr. on Patrick Mahomes in the first quarter.
First contact was to the upper chest area. I didn't see anything there that supported a foul.
Yes, the officials really did call that in a playoff game. Oh, and you know how the league introduced a new rule to ban hip drop tackles? Apparently, that doesn't apply to the Chiefs. Specifically, Brian Cooks when he delivered such a tackle on Texans tight end Dalton Schultz. Oh, and allow us not to forget the granddaddy of them all. The absolute worst of the worst calls to benefit the Kansas City Chiefs. Henry To'o getting flagged on unnecessary roughness when he literally completed the cleanest of clean tackles on Mahomes.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 39.
Oh, come on. I could not disagree with that one more.
So that leads to Mahomes throwing a touchdown to Travis Kelce, and the Texans never recovered. Thanks to a clown show of officiating, the Chiefs won 23-14 to reach their 7th straight AFC Championship game.
Troy, I agree with you. There's no forcible contact to the head neck area of him. That should not have been a foul.
And you know what? We say good on D'Amico Ryan, CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon, and Anderson Jr. for calling out the refs after the game. Someone had to do it.
We knew it was going to be us against the refs going into this game.
Super Bowl 57 versus Philadelphia Eagles. This showdown between Jalen Hurts' Eagles and Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs was really shaping up to be perhaps, I don't know, the greatest Super Bowl of them all. And yet, unless you're a KC fan, you're probably like the rest of us in that you only remember this ending on a pathetic officiating call. The back and forth barn burner was tied 35 apiece with less than 2 minutes to go. Facing a pivotal 3rd and 8 situation, the Chiefs just needed one more first down to melt the clock and set up a Harrison Butker game-winning field goal. Mahomes' pass to Juju Smith-Schuster fell incomplete to seemingly set up 4th down and give Hurts plenty of time to play hero. But Carl Sheffer's crew flagged James Bradbury for a tacky defensive holding call against Smith-Schuster. So KC got to drain out most of the clock and set up Butker for the game-winning field goal. Guarantee you that if it was any other team in that situation, the refs wouldn't have called it. Week 14, 2019 versus New England Patriots. Just how bad was the officiating in this game? Well, the refs took not one, but 2 Patriots touchdowns off the board. Trailing by 10 points late in the 3rd quarter, the Pats D forced a potential game-changing Travis Kelce fumble in their own territory to take over possession. But here's the catch. The refs blew the whistle early, a la Miles Jack, and wiped a defensive fumble return TD off the board. And then on the ensuing Patriots possession, Tom Brady found N'Keal Harry for a touchdown to cut the lead to 4.
Looked up at the Giants screen and has already run down to start celebrating because he knows that's a touchdown.
But the ref incorrectly ruled that Harry had stepped out of bounds at the 3-yard line, taking that TD off the board. So the Pats eventually settled for a field goal on that drive. They had a chance to tie it late, but their last drive stalled at the 5-yard line. The Chiefs got their revenge with a 23-16 win, with a shout out to the refs for costing the Pats 2 touchdowns. Week 2, 2024 versus Cincinnati Bengals. After sneaking past the Baltimore Ravens in the Week 1 kickoff game, the Chiefs renewed their rivalry with Joe Burrow and the Bengals at Arrowhead Stadium. The Bengals had the back-to-back defending champions at their mercy, up 25-23 with only 48 seconds left. Mahomes and the Chiefs faced a brutal 4th and 16 situation from their own 35-yard line and needed some form of a miracle to stay alive. And, well, when we say miracle, we mean another helping hand from the refs.
Throw it on the run, and it's broken up, and there's no flag. Home flag comes in late.
As Dijon Anthony was flagged for pass interference on Rashee Rice. Yeah, that awful call gave Kansas City a fresh set of downs and led to Harrison Butker's game-winning 51-yard field goal. Thanks, Zebras. 2022 AFC Championship game versus Cincinnati Bengals. Burrow's Bengals visited Mahomes' Chiefs at Arrowhead in a rematch of the thrilling 2021 AFC Championship game, which Cincy won in overtime on an Evan McPherson field goal. For starters, the Bengals forced a punt early in the 4th quarter with the game tied. After the play, however, however, the refs restarted the play with no clear-cut explanation. So, out of nowhere, KC got another chance on 3rd and 9.
What Ron just said is we're going to reset this. We're basically having a 3rd down play do-over.
Oh, and then there was this missed illegal block in the back call on Sky Moore's 29-yard punt return to set up the game-winning drive. So, of course, Harrison Butker drilled the game-winning field goal to send Kansas City to the AFC Championship game, with the Bengals once again falling just short of a Super Bowl dream via referee screw job. Week 13, 2024 versus Las Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs hosted their AFC West rivals in the second NFL Black Friday game on November 29. As usual, count on the refs to spoil a good ending in favor of Kansas City. Quarterback Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders defense played admirably well against the heavily favored Chiefs, trailing 19-17 with less than 2 minutes to go. O'Connell fumbled the snap, however, and the Chiefs quickly pounced on it. But fear not, the refs threw a flag quickly to seemingly call Vegas for a false start that would nullify the game-sealing fumble. So of course the refs wound up calling an illegal shift penalty on the Raiders that the Chiefs were allowed to decline, thus sealing the game for the home team.
Illegal shift. Penalties decline. The Chiefs did recover and take over first down.
We have never seen an ending like that before.
This is something that's been going on for the Chiefs like the past 3 years, if you understand now. If you pay attention.
Week 3, 2024 versus Atlanta Falcons. Kansas City led Kirk Cousins' Falcons 22-17 on Sunday Night Football with just 4 minutes remaining. Facing a 3rd down situation in the red zone, Cousins targeted big tight end Kyle Pitts with safety Brian Cook in coverage. Despite the obvious mismatch, Cook managed to force an incomplete pass by committing a genius tactic. That's right, get away with clear-as-day pass interference. Genius!
A lot of contact. Head's not around, didn't have a chance to make a play on the ball. Don't know about that one.
The Chiefs would force a turnover on downs, burn some more clock, and make one last defensive stop to win 22-17. Super Bowl 58 versus San Francisco 49ers. 2 years after their thrilling Super Bowl 54 clash in Miami, the Chiefs and 49ers squared off in the big dance once again, this time at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. You just knew that this game was somehow going to come down to several bad calls, and yeah, of course the Chiefs were again the beneficiary. You know, such as the ridiculous amount of times their O-line got away with blatant holding on Nick Bosa. This wasn't even the worst call, though.
On film, Taylor's, I think, leads the NFL with a ton of penalties. Anything stand out when you watch him?
They hold a lot.
On KC's game-winning overtime drive, Mahomes found Rashee Rice for a 13-yard catch on 3rd and 6. Look below, though, and you'll see that Chiefs running back Jerick McKinnon got away with a clear hold on 49ers linebacker Fred Warner. The Chiefs, of course, would win the game with Mahomes tossing the Super Bowl clinching touchdown to Mecole Hardman, made largely possible by the O-line getting away with holding all day long. 2023 AFC Championship game versus Baltimore Ravens. With only 3.5 minutes remaining, the Ravens were forced to settle for a Justin Tucker field goal after Isaiah Likely was clearly interfered with on this 3rd down play.
That should have been called. Yeah, I agree with you, Tony. I think if that ball's not in the air, you've got defensive holding.
Tucker's field goal cut the lead to 7, but it didn't matter. The Chiefs got the ball back and milked the rest of the clock to reach the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years. All thanks to some help from the refs.
Just throwing it away. Is that going to generate a flag?
Definitely should have. I mean, I saw it from up here.
Super Bowl 54 versus San Francisco 49ers. As upset as 49ers fans had to be about the officiating in Super Bowl 58, you may forget it was actually miles worse in their first big game showdown 4 years earlier. The first big game-changing officiating mistake came late in the waning seconds of the first half when George Kittle's big catch to set up a potential go-ahead field goal was called back because of a cheap offensive PI call. As 49ers fans surely recall, this was just the start of the crappy officiating in favor of the Chiefs. With less than 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter and the 49ers up 10, KC stopped a Jimmy Garoppolo scramble to force a punt. And when we say stopped, we mean get away with what probably was unnecessary roughness. But oh boy, the worst was yet to come, ladies and gentlemen. You know how any head-to-head contact on the quarterback is supposed to be roughing the passer? Well, not if the Chiefs committed in a big game. Garoppolo was hit in the head on a 3rd down play with his team clinging to a 3-point lead. But don't worry, the refs just had to miss it so that Mahomes could get the ball back and later hit Damian Williams for the game-winning touchdown. You know, looking back on it, we should have known that this was the start of the Chiefs' dynastic run that would largely be fueled by officiating, huh?
Does it feel to you like you've gotten protection or anything like that from officials?
I don't feel that way. I mean, I just try to play football at the end of the day. The referees are doing their best to call the game as fair and as proper as they possibly can. And all you can do is go out there and play the game that you love as hard as you can and live with the results.
Oh, really?
F***ing terrible. F***ing worst call I've ever f***ing seen, man.
But hey, which other NFL games were clearly scripted for the Kansas City Chiefs? Were there any notable examples that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then hey, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.